My wife, 34, and I, 32, found out we were expecting our first child in March, conceived in February, so not a quarantine baby, not that it matters, after being married for 2 years, 2018. My sister, 35, and her husband, 38, got married a little more than a year after us. My sister also found out she was pregnant around the same time. For your information, they were actively trying, we only just stopped birth control a few months prior. Anyway, on the day of my wife's 12-week checkup where we confirmed she was looking to be a healthy pregnancy, my sister found out she lost hers just 2 days before. I reached out to my sister gently, and we had a conversation about it. For the record, my sister knew my wife was pregnant before this. I asked her if she would be hurt if my wife and I made our announcement, and she said all was good and was excited to be an aunt. Wife and I make announcement, all seems well. Find out a few days later, my sister's husband and mother-in-law are bashing me and my wife, saying what we did was selfish and inconsiderate, and I'm like, what the hell? We talked about this. Oh well, can't please everyone. We move forward. My sis gets pregnant again a few months later, wahoo. Has another miscarriage a week after she tells me. Damn, like, I feel really bad for her, and I love her, she's my sister after all, and it really blows that she has to experience that. So our mother flies out to visit her and console. We live in the same state, 4 hours apart, and our parents are 1,200 miles away. Well, mom wants to see her son and pregnant daughter-in-law, so says she's going to rent a car and come see us, no biggie. I bust out the sanitizer and wetting it, clean up our spare room. Well, sister decides that's not necessary and says it'd be okay if the wife and I came to them to visit for a day or so, and I'm like, are you sure you want to be around a pregnant woman right now? Says all is good. So, we make a day trip, masks and all, keeping distance, say hi, have dinner, then get out of their hair. Great to see the mom and sister. A few days later, my sister isn't talking to me. Mom won't say why, everything is short and curt with my sis, and again, I'm like, what the hell? Then I see a post from my sister's mother-in-law on Facebook about how PPL flaunting their pregnancy in front of a woman who is having troubles is being an idiot and need to just stay away from her, and her brother, straight up called out, should have known better. Again, what the hell? Like, is my sister's family a bunch of idiots and poisoning her? I tried to be gentle and wasn't flaunting my wife at all. If anything, we keep our personal lives on lockdown and almost never make public posts or put anything out there unless asked, like, no baby bump updates or anything like that. Did I do something and just let it go right over my head? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Just stop trusting your sister about pregnancy-related issues. Don't go over there while pregnant or after the birth. Don't ask if doing certain actions are okay, because the mother-in-law is never going to be on your side, so, therefore, you're always going to be the bad guy here, etc. It's a 3-person marriage. Mother-in-law is heavily involved, it seems like. Just learn to stay away and less communication about certain topics. In other words, protect yourself, your wife, and children. Not the idiot. Yes, I believe your sister is an idiot. Yes, miscarriages can be hard and traumatic, but they are fairly common. The whole world can't stop being pregnant because of her loss. I've had a miscarriage. At this point, the only thing that would maybe appease her is your wife having an abortion. I understand for some women it is very traumatizing and they have trouble moving on. However, you asked your sister twice, and she said she was okay. Also, 100% she is behind her husband and mother-in-law attacking you. Not the idiot. Both times you had your sister's feelings in mind when asking her. Both questions you posed made that clear. Do you think your sister's husband and her in-laws are the overprotective type, or is it worse, and they're trying to manipulate her into believing you are a bad person? I've seen firsthand how a highly controlling group of in-laws try to manipulate someone enough to cut their family out of the picture entirely. If they lived closer to you, you could have driven over there and talked to your sister and brother-in-law face to face. My cat is older, approximately 9 years old, and a bit of a chunker. He's got no issues with lethargy, appetite, or weird poops, but for the past 2 years or so he's been having these wheezing fits. My mom is a medical doctor and she has asthma. She suggested I try giving him some inhaler, albuterol sulfate, using a cat spacer chamber to put the inhaler in and dose it for cats, and ever since I've been giving him 2 inhaler puffs a day, once in the morning, once at night, he has stopped wheezing entirely. Just recently, his inhaler ran out and I took him to the vet so they could write him another prescription. The veterinarian said she'd only be comfortable writing the prescription if she knew without a doubt that he has asthma and decided to perform some tests. First on the list was an X-ray. She said it would rule out heartworms and parasites and show that he had asthma for sure. The bill for the X-ray was nearly $500 and she said it was inconclusive because his heart looks healthy, his stomach and lungs have no collection of fluid, and there are no visual signs of parasites, so it may be asthma, but then insisted to do a blood test and stool sample to rule out parasites, which would cost another $400 for each test. I told her I was pretty sure it was just asthma, since he has no lethargy or poop problems, nor issues with appetite, which are also associated with heartworms. She said, well, in my professional medical opinion, I have to disagree. When I asked her to give me concrete reasons why, she just started talking vaguely about how it's impossible to tell if cats have asthma, heartworms, or parasites, but other vets have told me otherwise. I said, well, I'm not comfortable subjecting my cat to these expensive tests unless I can get a straight answer. I'm sorry, but it appears you're more interested in selling me tests I don't need than helping my cat. She got very angry, and I've been blacklisted from the vet hospital. Thankfully my mom had left a spare inhaler in the guest room of our house, so the cat will be fine for now. Thinking about what I said, I think I might have been out of line as I'm not a medical professional. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She completely ignored the diagnosis from the previous vet. Okay, maybe running the X-ray was fair to double check and to see progress. The radiology clinic state there's definitely signs of asthma, so did this vet just not know the signs of feline asthma? The fact she didn't give you the images suggests otherwise. $800 in additional tests is absurd, considering your previous vet had already given a diagnosis, and then you paid $500 for an X-ray to double check. Not the idiot. Doctors aren't gods and you can give a dialogue with them. If they can't explain their reasoning, go find a different one. If you don't like their attitude, go find a different one. If you don't like their office decor, go find a different one. You don't need to feel bad about it, it's a free market. If they wish your cat to die, which they absolutely did, blaming the assistant is such a weak move, you should not only post the email everywhere online, but you should actively try to get their license taken away. Not the idiot. I think it was slightly rude to say the vet was only ordering the tests for money, but I understand your frustrations that a previous vet agreed it was asthma and not getting a logical reason why the blood tests were needed. What makes you not the idiot is the over-the-top response by the vet to blacklist you from the hospital and then receive that email. Whether it was an assistant or the vet that sent it, it's completely unacceptable and you should leave the review up. A few months back I made a couple lifestyle changes, including hiring a personal trainer for myself. Overall, he's fantastic at his job, and I definitely look and feel a lot better, and I'm a lot stronger. I've lost a lot of my other friends who were in the fat liberation movement because they see intentional weight loss as a bad thing, so I'm possibly a bit too cautious, and I haven't been posting very many photos of myself online or posting healthy food I eat or anything like that. Anyway, I met with a friend for brunch a few days ago, and she was commenting on me looking a lot better, so I told her it was because I made lifestyle changes and started seeing a personal trainer. She started asking me about him, so I answered a lot of her questions. She asked me if I could send her the workout I was using and my meal plan. I told her that our caloric needs, strength level, etc. would be different, so it would be better for her to hire her own trainer and nutritionist. She seemed a bit miffed, but I thought nothing of it. Later on, she asked me for his contact information over Facebook. My friend can be a bit of a cheapskate, and in the past, I've referred her to someone and gotten embarrassed by her conduct. I referred her to my hairstylist, and she tried to use a groupon for a different salon and tried to get her to give her a discount. When my hairstylist refused, my friend begrudgingly paid the bill and left a really nasty Yelp review. In the past, my hairstylist has used me as a hair model for certain things, so I have gotten free or low-cost services, but I never thought my friend would be so cheap. She wears designer clothes, shops at Nordstrom, etc. I was mortified and personally apologized to my hairstylist and chewed my friend out over that. Since I didn't want a repeat of last time, I told her that I didn't feel comfortable referring her to my trainer because of the scene last time, because my personal trainer charges an amount that she would think is absurd, and because she's one of those people who the stars must align for before she works out, she has an excuse for everything. I also know they wouldn't get along, and he'd probably fire her as a client after a few weeks. She argued with me and I ended the conversation abruptly by linking her to multiple personal trainers that I don't personally use. A mutual friend has contacted me and insisted that I was being rude because she was apparently having a manic episode when she made the scene at the salon. I didn't even know this friend had a mental health issue. So I'm conflicted because on one hand, if this was a one-time sort of behavior, I can understand not wanting it to dictate everything. On the other hand, she still hasn't taken down her negative review, and she was trying to get me to hand over things that my personal trainer worked hard to build for free. Though I also felt like a huge idiot after my friend made that scene with my hairstylist too. So, am I the idiot? Is there any way to go through this situation without being an idiot? Not the idiot for a number of reasons. 1. The request for the free info is crappy, personal trainers work for themselves usually, and giving their plans out for free undermines their business. 2. Manic episodes are not, like you said, that review and the remnants of what happened are still out there. 3. You already had one relationship jaded by this friend, your hairdresser. Good for you for reminding her of that and not going there again. And so many more reasons probably. Not the idiot, talk about an excuse for everything. Pretty sure if she has manic episodes, that would have been revealed by her at the time of the incident with your stylist. Now she's delegating other people to guilt you into giving her what she sees as an in with your trainer. You did the right thing and you have zero obligation to engage with her any further in regard to this. Get coffee, hang out, but the minute she starts asking for favors the conversation is over. Not the idiot, and both of your friends are. The friend you spoke to is using this person's mental health issues as an excuse for their crappy behavior, which will only perpetuate the existing stigmas. You have every right to withhold this information from this person. The way this person acted with your hairstylist was extremely embarrassing, and considering the fact that they still haven't removed the review says a lot about them and how nasty they can be. I hope you don't continue to feel bad for not referring this person to your personal trainer. I made a post about this and shared it with my husband, and he said that I was a bit of an idiot, so I figured I'd get a different opinion. I was visiting a friend at work who recently found out she was pregnant. On an unrelated note, I had my daughter with me in her Bjorn, and a couple of girls came in who were about 19 or 20 years old. One immediately started gushing about how cute my baby was, and I was thinking, hey, I have a cute baby, so gush away. She asked me how was motherhood and what she has to look forward to. I asked if she wanted the truth, which she said yes, and I told her just that. I don't hate motherhood, but if I had a restart button I'd definitely do some things differently. I basically told her if she likes not waking up to crying baby, or taking long showers, or taking uninterrupted naps, motherhood might not be for her at the moment. I said that, I will admit with a bitterness that my daughter was conceived almost immediately after I finished college, so I didn't have a break. I literally went from one stressor to another, and I figured it would be prudent to tell someone who still has a chance to control these things, to get them under control, unless that is something they truly want. My husband said I should have lied to her, and it was an idiot thing for me to do to tell her my truth like that. Am I the idiot? Hell, lying to people about parenthood. I love that my friends give me the uncensored version of motherhood, from they annoyed the hell out of me yesterday to I just want to pee in peace. The amount of times people say no one tells you about X when you have kids is worrying. Procreation isn't for everybody, and you should know what you're getting into so you don't turn into a crappy absent parent or resenting your kids for having them when you're not ready. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. She asked a genuine question and received an honest answer. Motherhood is hard. It's a 24/7 18-year commitment, and the baby years are brutal. While I may not be a mother myself, I'm the oldest of 5 kids, the youngest being 25, so most of my life was spent helping care for babies. I'm also a nanny, so know how difficult children can be. And while kids are generally a blessing, every rose has its thorn. If this person was genuinely considering having children, lying to her would be doing her and her future children a disservice. Not the idiot. Motherhood is hard. There is no reason to cover the subject in bubble wrap. Your husband is irresponsible for wanting you to give young girls a false sense of what they potentially get into. So many children are given up for adoption because some people think having a kid is a breeze. More people should think twice before having a child. Maybe your husband should take on more of the responsibility of the child, since he obviously thinks it's so easy. Background. My SO and I got back together a couple of years ago after a breakup, during which he had a brief make-love buddies thing with some woman, and she got intentionally pregnant and pushed for him to marry her. He didn't, obviously, but he did take full responsibility for the child. She's unemployed, didn't finish high school, lives with her mother. Tried to get some sort of alimony, but he destroyed her in court. He does pay child support religiously and covers extra expenses. Baby mama hates my guts, says I stole my SO from her, though she met him when I was still his girlfriend, and he wasn't in relationship with her when we got back together. I am now pregnant with my SO and I's first child together. We managed to keep this news from his first baby mama for quite a while, but she found out eventually and has been unleashing hell around him ever since. Her rage is centered on me because she found out, via SM stalking, what we bought for our baby, where I'm giving birth, private facility, where I'll have my baby shower, etc. And she basically concluded that we are spending a lot more money in our baby than my SO ever spent on theirs, and that pisses her off. We have indeed spent quite a sum and plan on spending more in the future. I have no idea if her claims about the sum being more than what was invested in her pregnancy and their child are true, but it's very likely the case, because the thing is she doesn't work, and so ever since she was pregnant all related expenses had to be covered by my SO alone. I'm a semi-senior executive and actually make more money than my SO at the moment, though he earns fairly well himself. So it's logical to me that our two-income household has a better financial position than hers. I don't tell my SO to spend more money in our unborn child, but we pay for everything half and half, so he doesn't have to spend as much as it seems. As for where I'm giving birth, I have my own medical insurance, my SO isn't paying a penny. So, am I the idiot for spending and overall, setting up a comfortable lifestyle for our soon-to-be-born child, when my SO cannot provide the same for his eldest, because he can't afford this kind of stuff on his own? I mostly feel like we both work hard for our money, and if we're not going to use it to give our child a good life, then what's the point in having it? But I'm torn because I think we're also potentially setting a difference between the siblings, and that his first baby mama will always push that view on her child that might grow to actually think their dad doesn't love them the same or something. This kind of sounds like everyone's the idiot here to me. Mom is a psycho. Boyfriend is a deadbeat. OP is perfectly fine with him being a deadbeat, while knowing there's a young child in the mix because you won. I get that he actually wants your child, but you've said makes it seem like he gives a single crap about his other child. All three of you need to realize that and just quit dealing with each other, meaning he should just give up parental rights. If he actually does care, he needs to show it. Not the idiot, but the way you wrote this makes me think there is open hostility on both of your parts, not just hers. Think about the impact on the kids before you say or do anything in front of your children, such as judging her on how she lives her life. It does no favors to anyone. My parents are divorced, and the different ways my younger brothers were treated financially and the way my parents talked about each other definitely affected my sister and I growing up. This sounds like a similar situation. I could be wrong, but if not, check yourself before your baby is born. Everyone's the idiot here. I was going to say not the idiot, as long as his other son receives the same amount of love and attention, and I guess money or stuff, when he stays in your home as the child you will be having together. But he doesn't have custody. Or does, but doesn't enforce it. And it's hard to visit. No offense OP, but if your husband isn't putting in the effort, it is kind of an idiot move. Especially since it sounds like his son could actually benefit from not being with his mother all the time.